Shalom, family. Peace, love, light, and healing to you all. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I've been kind of absent from making videos like these for a couple months now, because I'm always learning and I'm always growing. And for some reason, I kind of have this perfectionist mindset that I must first understand the material that I'm going to share with you guys. But I realize that I'm a channel, so I just kind of have to share sometimes. So a healthy balance of both. But this one's gonna probably get sentimental and dark really fast. So grab your tissue box and trigger warning. Some of you guys, I not sure if you may be able to stomach what I'm gonna share with you guys, okay? Before we start diving deep though, family, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so that you can help the algorithm, help this channel grow, and hopefully this video can reach more people, help somebody today, and for the future days to come. Now that that's out of the way, let us talk about our relationship with darkness. And this is a kind of taboo subject because naturally as humans, we have a fear system built in. So anything that makes us uncomfortable or doesn't agree with our normals, we push it away. It's like a kind of phobia. We are afraid of it. And it's just like nobody wants to make themselves that uncomfortable. And that's okay, that's fine. We don't have to force ourselves to be uncomfortable and to accept things we're not willing or ready to accept. However, the point of this video is to kind of get us to take an objective look at darkness or darker emotions, right? Because we have it's like the population, we split it in half, right? And then there's a spectrum on both sides of people that are kind, they're loving, they're thoughtful, they're supportive, right? They're truthful, they're honest. And then you have the other side that's not honest. They steal, they kill, they hurt, and so on and so forth. However, I think that it's important to understand when we're getting into a subject like this that our brain is naturally designed to break things down. Not just our brain, I want to say more specifically our ego. Our ego is designed by our nature, because the nature of consciousness is like this container, okay? It's clear. That is the nature of our consciousness. And just like the screen that you're watching this on, no matter what video, what content you put before the screen, it's going to reflect that to you. And that is the nature of our consciousness. It's the same way. Everything that is created, though it's like we're experiencing it outside, we're actually experiencing it inside. And the ego is experiencing itself separate from everything that's going on. Though it is our nature, we are creators, right? The nature of consciousness, in better terms, is like a mirror, right? And the mind is more like the thoughts that, or the reflections that come before the mirror. That is our thoughts, that is our mind, that is how ego sees things. But we're clear. Our nature is more clear like space, and it just creates an experiences. In other words, and so it's important to understand when we're talking about this topic that like naturally we're gonna have biases because we choose which side we want to stand on. As Lao Tzu puts it though, when something is considered good, is clarified as good, then the other thing naturally becomes bad, right? And so we continue to create this duality and this separation. And the only problem with that is that this entire reality that we're experiencing is love. Because obviously everything comes from one source, right? And if you think of a prism or the container like I showed you, and you shine light through it, you're going to see the prism or the light turn into 7 colors. And those 7 colors may array on a wall in front of you, and they may make a display, right? A moving around of the colors, a nice little show for you. And that's what this reality is source, fractalizing itself and experiencing itself in so many like separate forms, right? But those separate forms are non-dual. They are all one, right? And so this entire reality is love at the end of the day, but it's not a love that we can understand with our mind. The closest word we have in the English language to express this love is unconditional love, meaning love without any conditions, right? And I love to explain it in the Hebrew language because I feel like they kind of are pinpoint very close to understanding the meaning of this kind of love. And the word that they have to express this kind of love is Rachem, and that's my name, right? My name is the Arabic version, Rahim, right? But the root of it, RHM, it's Semitic, so it means the same thing. It just means womb, right? Or the matrix, the mother, right? And if you know the matrix or the mother, she births everything in her womb. She holds everything in her womb. And a mother, when she is pregnant, she's going through a lot, right? A lot of like pains to bear the child. However, no matter what goes on in life, whatever that child goes on to do or whatever happens, the mother will always have this intimate connection with the child, right? The love is unconditional. And it is the same thing that goes. It's no different. Experiencing this reality here. And what's even more fascinating to show you guys that all of this is one, if you break down all of the closely related Indo-European words for mother, right, from the Greek language, mater, and then you have it shares the same root with the word meter, right, to measure, right? The great creator, the great creator designs everything, right? Maya, right, from the Hindu language, matrix, they all mean the same thing. They're all talking about this reality that is here as display, as show, as created by the divine, but not created in a kingly sense, as though it like put everything here. You could think about it like that, but think about it more in terms of it is experiencing itself. It's like doing yoga with yourself, like when you meditate and you experience all of your inner content within yourself. It's literally like that. And it's not, so everything is pure in a sense. That's what we call the Dharma. Everything is co-creating with each other. It's in a kind of synergy, right? So good gives rise to bad, bad gives rise to good. And it's important for us to accept and to see those contents within ourselves, right? Because that's where we judge each other. You see somebody that's going through a really tough time. It's like they almost have no emotions, like they're a wall. But trust me, everyone somewhere deep down inside of themselves can connect to love or has feelings and has emotions. It just shows up in different ways, you know. And I know people are going to argue about people's brain not being wired properly, and that's a valid argument. But just in general, go beyond them and see things on a higher scape, or even on a minuscule scape, right? Like we need inside our body, the cells are fighting all the time, right? Our cells is fighting with bad bacteria, all of this good stuff, all this war going on a smaller scale to make sure that you are alive. Same thing on the bigger scale. It's all needed. It's all just love at the end of the day. It's all just going to the bigger whole at the end of the day, right? And I think it's important not to try and force others to see from our way, to force them to be a certain thing, to kind of validate our reality, but to try to understand their reality, you know, not in a sense where you have to go do anything bad or malicious to anyone or anything like that. I'm definitely not recommending that. but to kind of try to understand their pain, their suffering, what they are going through. And then you'll understand your own capacity, your own compassion within, right? Almost like a mother, you'll be able to feel what is going on within them in their life and things like that. And then you will realize that those scary emotions on the surface is really just a lot of confusion and mixed emotions going on within. They're really just hurting inside. You know, in my past, I wasn't the best person in my past. I used to do a lot of street affiliated things. I'm glad that I never went as far as like hurting nobody, doing nothing like that. I never got into anything that I wouldn't be able to forgive myself for. But I've, I wasn't the most honest person in my past. Let's just say that. And, I had friends who I was fortunately able to turn a new leaf, but I had friends that did not make it that far in their own life. They ended up going to prison for a long time. I have friends that still are in prison, are dead. And I remember having a dream one time when I seen one of my friends that was in prison, and they were looking at me through the window outside trying to get inside my home, and I was looking at them, and all I could see is red in their eyes and sadness. And all I could do is kind of like just feel their pain and their agony. I've been taken to some really deep places in my mind mentally, where I'm burdening this kind of like a sadness in the collective, where I'm taking and I'm seeing people in all kinds of distress, through my deep meditations. And it's not in me to judge those people, because in those moments I can understand what's going on in their world, and then it gives rise to the kind of person that I am, right? It creates my karma, as in being someone that is so kind and compassionate and empathetic. It gives rise to the kind of person that I am, right? And so when I face these things, they don't make me afraid. They make me realize why I was born the way that I am, with the kind of capacity that I hold, because I don't want to forget about those people. I want to advocate for their healing. This is why I'm making these kinds of videos. I want to see their healing, if possible. So we must not judge what we can't understand, but we're quick to judge what we can't understand. We're quick to blame people for their suffering, and that only causes more separation and more war. And truthfully, I feel I don't even have the answers as to what's the best perspective to take on these kinds of people that just do some of the most heinous things that you would just like put your hands to like cover your face. It's too much to stomach. I don't know how to what perspective to tell people to take with these kinds of folks. I don't have the answers. But all I just know and I realize is that they are still a part of us. They symbolize a core and important aspect of self that, if not recognized, can go unrecognized, and the pattern and cycle just continues. So I hope all of that makes sense. Hope I didn't ramble on too long in this video. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I just want to kind of just, share these thoughts in my mind, in my heart, and channel, speak from the heart. None of this is planned. I don't plan none of this in my head. I just speak from my heart. And to sum it up in other words, I love how Shogyam Trungpa describes it. He has a philosophy that he calls crazy wisdom, and I never ever got into it. But to me, what it sounds like is, and he's a great Buddhist scholar and leader. He's done some questionable things in his life, but it goes to show everyone is just human at the end of the day. No matter how much we try to hide it, we're human and we make mistakes. And that's the whole point to me about crazy wisdom, is that, life is filled with lots of crazy and lots of love too at the end of the day. And it's not life is not necessarily, I love how it's put in Doom when Jamis was talking to Paul. He was telling Paul, he said, you know, life is not a problem to solve, but a reality to be experienced. And that's how I feel about you know, the craziness in that's a part of the world. My heart is open because I know it is an essential part of myself. It's not external to me, it's all within me. And even though it may not be the most comfortable thing to see when it happens to me or when things happen to others, but at the end of the day, I'm willing to accept and keep my heart open to the things that I can't understand. So at least in the sense of like, I keep this open space in my heart. I have my viewpoints, my perspectives, my way of doing things. I like to live in a positive, honorable manner, but I still have my heart open capacity. I hold space for those that may not be there, and for even just like, you know, when natural disasters happen, when things happen that we can't understand, my heart is open to accepting these things, making peace with them. And I think that's when you can fully integrate all aspects of yourself, when you can see both good and bad in yourself. You can bring together the duality. So with that being said, I don't know, can't promise when I'm going to make another video, and but just best believe I'll always be there in spirit with you guys, and you will be receiving future updates from me. It could be a week from now, who knows, it might even be this week, make another video, but I will be there at the right time. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.